In the world of rugby, few players have earned the kind of reputation that Brian Lima has, known as the Chiropractor. Lima was a Samoan rugby player who made a name for himself with his bone-crushing tackles and his fearless attitude on the field. Brian Lima was a player who was feared by opponents for his hard-hitting tackles and his fearless attitude. He was not just a defensive player, he was also a formidable attacker who could break through even the toughest of defenses. His style of play was a reflection of his Samoan heritage, where rugby is not just a sport, but a way of life. In this video, we will explore the life and legacy of Brian Lima, and the moments that define his legendary status in rugby history. Brian Lima was born on September 12, 1972, in Fagatogo, American Samoa. Growing up, he played rugby with his brothers and quickly developed a love for the sport. In 1990, Lima moved to New Zealand to pursue his rugby career, playing for the Auckland rugby team before moving on to the Super Rugby franchise, the Blues. Brian Lima's big hits. One of the most memorable moments of Brian Lima's career came during a match between Samoa and South Africa in the 2003 Rugby World Cup. In the opening minutes of the game, Lima delivered a massive tackle on South African player Derek Hougaard, knocking him out of the game and sending shockwaves through the rugby world. The hit was so hard that it left Lima's own teammate Filippo Levi with a broken jaw. Another memorable moment came during a match between Samoa and Wales in 1999. Lima was playing as a winger and was tasked with marking Welsh player Mark Jones. Jones received the ball and began running down the field, only to be met by Lima, who delivered a bone-crunching tackle that sent Jones flying into the air. The tackle on Derek Hougaard. In a quarter-final match between Samoa and South Africa at the 2003 Rugby World Cup, Brian Lima had made a tackle on South African fly half Derek Hougaard that is still talked about to this day. The tackle was so powerful that it left Hougaard writhing in pain on the ground and forced him to leave the game. The tackle was a statement to Lima's strength and fearless approach to the game. Lima, also known as the Chiropractor, was renowned for his physicality on the field, and this tackle was a perfect example of that. Hougaard had received the ball and was looking to make a break, but Lima charged in with incredible speed and timing, delivering a bone-crushing hit that stopped him in his tracks. The tackle was so powerful that it left Hougaard with a dislocated shoulder, and he had to be taken off the field on a stretcher. Despite the severity of the injury, Hougaard later praised Lima for his tackling ability, describing him as a master of his craft. The impact of the tackle was felt throughout the rest of the game, with South Africa struggling to regain their composure after losing their key playmaker. Samoa went on to win the game 34-22, with Lima's tackle on Hougaard remaining one of the most memorable moments of the match. The try against Wales. In the 2003 Rugby World Cup, Samoa faced Wales in a high-stakes match. The game was intense and closely contested, with both teams vying for a win. Samoa was trailing by 3 points when Brian Lima made a game-changing move. The ball was quickly passed to him, and Lima charged towards the Welsh defense with incredible speed and agility. He dodged past defenders, making it past the try line for a critical score. The try not only earned Lima accolades for his impressive offensive skills, but it also helped Samoa clinch a 38-31 victory over Wales. Lima's try was a testament to his all-round abilities on the field. He was known for his tenacity and toughness in defense, but he was also a skilled attacker who could take advantage of gaps in the opposing team's defense. This try showcased his quick thinking, speed, and agility, which made him a valuable asset to any team. The try against Wales was a memorable moment in Brian Lima's career, which spanned over 2 decades. He was one of the most respected and feared players on the field, known for his hard tackles and fearless approach to the game. His contribution to Samoan rugby and the sport as a whole was immeasurable, and he will always be remembered as one of the greats. The hit on Andre Watson. In a match between Samoa and South Africa in 1995, Brian Lima delivered a bone-crushing hit on South African referee Andre Watson. Lima, frustrated with the call made by the official, took matters into his own hands and hit Watson with a shoulder charge that sent him flying to the ground. While the hit earned Lima a red card and a suspension, it also solidified his reputation as one of the toughest players on the field. The tackle on Jean de Villiers. Brian Lima's hard-hitting tackle ability was on full display again in a 2007 Rugby World Cup match between Samoa and South Africa. In this match, Lima made a crunching tackle on Springbok center Jean de Villiers that left him unconscious and had to be stretchered off the field. The hit was so powerful that it made headlines and is still talked about today as one of the most ferocious tackles in rugby history. Despite the physicality of the tackle, Lima showed sportsmanship by checking in on de Villiers and making sure he was okay. This tackle was just one example of Lima's fierce approach to the game, and his reputation as a hard-hitting player only grew after this match. Lima's tackling was not only physical but also tactical. He had a knack for reading his opponent's movements and timing his tackles perfectly to disrupt their attack. This was evident in his tackle on de Villiers, where he anticipated the South African's move and met him head-on with a perfectly timed hit. Lima's impact on the game of rugby was not limited to his tackling ability. In fact, he scored 26 tries in his 64 appearances for Samoa. His ability to break through defenses and score crucial tries was demonstrated in the 2003 Rugby World Cup match against Wales, where he scored a crucial try that helped lead Samoa to a victory. The tackle on John Alomu. In the 1999 Rugby World Cup, Samoa faced off against New Zealand and all eyes were on John Alomu, one of the best rugby players in the world at the time. However, it was Brian Lima who stole the show with his incredible tackle on Lomu. As Lomu charged down the field, Lima, who was playing on the wing, sprinted across the field and took him down with a perfect tackle, bringing the massive Lomu to the ground. The tackle was so powerful that it sent shockwaves through the rugby world and is still talked about today as one of the best tackles in the history of the game. Despite the attention and praise, Lima remained humble, stating that he was just doing his job as a rugby player. The tackle on Lomu not only showcased Lima's incredible physical ability, but also his tactical awareness and determination to help his team succeed. Lima's career was filled with many impressive moments, but the tackle on Lomu will always be remembered as one of his greatest feats. The retirement match. Brian Lima's final match for Samoa in the 2007 Rugby World Cup against England was a bittersweet moment for the legendary player. After playing for over a decade, it was time for Lima to hang up his boots and retire from international rugby. The match was an emotional one, not just for Lima but also for his fans, who knew that they were witnessing the end of an era. Despite the overwhelming emotions, Lima put in a solid performance, giving it his all in his last match. While Samoa ultimately lost the game, Lima received a standing ovation from the crowd, a testament to his incredible career and the respect he had earned from rugby fans all over the world. Following the match, Lima was carried off the field by his teammates, a fitting tribute to one of the greatest players to ever wear the Samoa jersey. Despite his retirement, Lima's impact on rugby was felt for years to come, as he continued to inspire a new generation of rugby players in Samoa and beyond. Lima's impact on the game. Lima's impact on rugby has been immense. He helped to put Samoan rugby on the map and was a key player for the team for over a decade. His physicality and work rate inspired his teammates and struck fear into the hearts of his opponents. He was also a fan favorite, with his tough and uncompromising approach to the game winning him respect of rugby fans around the world. Off the field, Lima has been involved in charity work, supporting causes such as education and youth development in Samoa. He has also been a vocal advocate for mental health and wellness, speaking openly about his own struggles and encouraging others to seek help when they need it. Lima's legacy. As Lima retired from rugby in 2007, he left a lasting legacy on the game. His physicality and work rate inspired a generation of players, and his impact on Samoan rugby cannot be overstated. He was a true ambassador for the sport, with his passion and commitment to the game shining through in everything he did. But more than that, Lima is a role model and an inspiration to countless fans around the world. His advocacy for mental health and wellness, as well as his commitment to giving back to the community, make him a true ambassador for the sport of rugby. It's players like Lima who make rugby such a special sport, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for him. Lima's legacy is not just defined by his incredible talent on the field, but also by his sportsmanship, humility, and dedication to the game. He was a true ambassador for rugby and a shining example of what it means to be a great athlete, both on and off the field. While he may have retired from rugby, his impact on the sport will be felt for generations to come.